Red Scarf Girl by Ji-Li Jiang.
Jiang.
Yeah. A memoir of the Cultural Revolution.
Sad.
So, yeah.
It's about the Cultural Revolution in China, and about this girl that's like going to school, and she, yeah.
It's a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story, and it's, was it all true?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because she wrote it,
Yeah,
didn't she?
it's all true.
So
yeah.
it's like about her after the culture, like it's not about after that, but that's when she wrote it after it happened.
Yeah.
And
So she was like,
so it's right when it was starting to get big and
10?
stuff, so it's when everything was falling apart, and she was just trying to be normal in school and trying to fit in and everything, and then, yeah, and then stuff keeps happening to her, and her dad gets in trouble because, with the law, because he's in stuff. It's really sad, and they have to keep hiding from the government, and it's really sad.
so it's 1966 and she's 12, and it's the true story of what happened to her. And so it's a good introduction to Chinese history for younger audiences. She's made sure that it's really appropriate for younger kids to read.
But it still gives you a feel of what it was like.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, it feels like you're really, and you know, you hear about the big stuff with Mao, but also like lots of the everyday stuff was you know, and she brings that up.
What's really cool about this is like, yeah, like Mao, is his name, right? The big king guy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't even think he was a bad guy. They were talking about how this they like worshipped him. Yeah. Like this girl, there was this girl that she like really looked up to. The little girl did, and she was and the girl that she liked was giving a speech at her school, and she was talking about how she went to this place and she looked up and she saw Mao talking, and she was bawling, and it was so incredible to see him, and that was worth living for, and how he was so amazing. I mean, and I don't know, it's really interesting to read about what they thought about him and stuff.
It really
how
shows
deceived they were.
Yeah, it really shows like he kind of became like their god, and it was like a religion, like they worshipped him, and so they didn't question decisions that he made and things that he did because...
Yeah, when she was talking about it, it sounded like someone had seen the prophet or something, or was talking to Christ or whatever, like story in the Bible, and it was about Mao, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
The people who did realize it, like one person's grandmother kills herself because she can't handle to live in that society.
Yeah, then she just gets desperate. And so it shows bigger things like that went on, but then it also shows just like the day-to-day, like how rough it was to just be afraid of your own government and not sure what food you're going to have. And they weren't, her parent, was it just her dad that was in theater, or was it her mom too?
I think it was just her dad.
And so that was like,
but I mean, like
you had to only do things the government allowed you to do.
Yeah.
He could get lose his job any day. And
one day his dad was like, okay, you're gonna go to the park with your grandma tomorrow. If you come back and there's a mop on the railing, that means the red guards have come into our house and taken us, and so you should go back to the park. And it was like, just like living like that when you don't know who's gonna come and invade your house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like so scary to think about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Micah didn't want to read this.
Yeah, I didn't.
And then kind of like, it seems like I remember kind of like forcing you through the first part of it. Was there a point at which your attitude kind of changed and you wanted to finish it?
I don't know, just when it got interesting.
And then you finished it on your own. I think it seems like...
Yeah, because the first couple of chapters are just about her in school and some bullies and stuff and just blah, blah, blah. But then it starts to change and it gets good.
So what do you think kids would get out of this? Why do you think they should read it? Did you feel like it was valuable for them to read?
Yeah, just I don't know, just experience other cultures, and because we're so spoiled in America, we're just like, not in a bad way or anything, but I mean, we're living in our house, and we have a house, and we have heating, we have all that stuff, and we don't have to worry about guards coming in our house, breaking it down, breaking our windows, tearing our furniture. I mean, they just come in and just take your stuff, and they just, like, there's this guy walking down the street, and his pants are too skinny to put a wine bottle in, so they just cut them off, and they like rip up his shoes and stuff. They can just do that. High school kids can do that because they have the authority, and it's just it's just horrible.
Yeah. So it really makes you count your blessings.
Yeah.
And think about what you really have and how great your life really is. It's going to be kind of painful for kids to read, huh?
Yeah, I would say no one under 10-ish.
Yeah. But do you think they should read it?
Yeah, definitely read it. It's good.
And get through the first few chapters.
Yeah.
And then have a discussion on it.
I
think it's a great book for youth discussion.
Yeah.
Or adult discussion.
Or youth and adult discussion.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really good introduction to the Chinese history. And then for adults, if you wanted to read like Wild Swans alongside it, then you get even more information from that one as well, and kind of get a sense of what the kind of the late 20th century was like for China, and what it was like, and what was like for her, what it was like to be a kid living there. She did a really great job of really making you feel like that you're there and you understand what's going on.
It's really sad though. You have to be prepared for a lot of sadness.
And then the end is kind of okay.
Yeah.
Like she and her family are kind of okay.
Yeah, so it's not...
This is her in the back later on. And she actually was born in Shanghai and graduated from Shanghai Teachers College. But then she came to the United States in 1984. Yeah, anyway, so she became an American, and then she was able to write this about the Cultural Revolution. So Red Scarf Girl, we highly recommend it. It's not going to be as fluffy and happy and pretty as some of the other youth novels we've recommended, but it is very, very worth reading.
Yeah.
You know, coming from someone just right that age. Mike's 13, so you know, he's saying it was hard to get through, but glad to understand it, and helps make you grateful and happier person. So, Red Scarf Girl, Ji-Li Jiang. Read it.